welcome to Polymer Clay TV. I'm Elisa, and today I am showing you some of the powdered pigments. We've had a lot of questions about them and what you can do with them and how they work. So I wanted to show you first of all how they come. We have three different options, and one is just loose where it comes in the set and they just come packaged in a bag and they're individual. So that's one option we have. The other option is what we call stackers, and they come all stacked together in this pretty little stack, and you just twist off the top there and you go down until you get to the color you want, which is really nice for storing. These are really good for storing because they don't take up a lot of room and you have all your colors together in one spot, which is really nice. So that's an option. And then we have our palettes. And they come to you looking like this or something like this. And these are this is just washi tape. You just peel it off, and that's only on there strictly because we don't want these to open during shipping. That would be a real drag, So excuse my voice because I'm still sick. I got sick almost a week ago, and I'm really late on filming this because of that, and I'm actually in the shop at Things Crafty right now filming this, not in my normal place in my studio. So anyways, this is the pigments, and these are the three options. This is the palette, this is the stacker, and then obviously the one's plain. So I'm going to work with these today. Let me peel this off. You don't need to keep the tape on there. This is strictly, like I said, for mailing stuff. So okay, so a few of the things about pigments, a little goes a very long way. You do not need to use a ton to go to do anything, because as you'll see as I start this, a little goes a really long way. Also, you will have heard these referred to as pigment powders, mica powders, pearl powders, all different names there is. And some of these have pearls in them. We have a matte set, which is completely matte. It doesn't have any pearls in it. We have a metallic set, obviously has pearls, has some mica in it. So it just depends on the color, and that's how they're referred to. But okay, so let's start with a few of the things you can do. I have some punchinella, and punchinella is basically sequin waste, which is what's left over after they take out the sequins. And what I like to do is I like to roll my rod over it so that I get a nice adhesion between the clay and my punchinella. That way it doesn't seep through. So here I'm going to use this gold color, and I'm just getting a little on my finger. You see how a little is a lot. And you can just go over it with a circular motion. You can tap it if you want more color. You could use a paintbrush if you want to paint in certain areas. It's entirely up to you what look you're going for, but I prefer to use my finger. Yes, it's messier, but it's also the tool I prefer the best. So I'm just going to do a couple colors so you can see. But I use this a lot to highlight a rubber stamp too. Like if I've stamped into the clay, I can use it to highlight it, which is really nice, which I'm going to show you next. You can also use a stencil. This is basically a stencil, this punchinella. So you can see, you can go through any stencil the same way you would do this. You can even use a sponge. That's an option. You don't have to use your finger and get all dirty or whatever, but it cleans up real easy just with soap and water. This is a black, and that should do it, and you'll be able to see good the different colors. Okay, so really that's it. You saw that was like ridiculously easy, but look at how cool when I peel it back. It leaves a really nice color on the clay. So using it with stencils is one really nice option. Okay, so that's number one. Now let's stamp. I've got a piece of clay over here. I found a Merry Christmas stamp in my collection. And actually highlighting texture, this is actually going to impress it, but let's do this and we can go from there so you can see. So say I wanted to do my Christmas tree, green. I would just take a little on my finger or a brush or whatever, and you can just highlight the texture. You don't have to get it down in those grooves here. You know, I can really just go all over it. A lot of times though, you know, I will also use just my lid because, you know, putting it in there, like I said, a little goes a very long way. So sometimes it's better to just use your lid too. And so that's it. That's how simple it is, and you can really highlight, you know, your stamp, any texture that you have. I love it. I love it with the punchinella. And then you can just cut it out with a cookie cutter or anything you really want to. And it's very, very simple, you know, to do. You could add, you know, little dots or something if you want to spruce it up. You know, really the sky's the limit with this. Once you have your pigment on there, you can do anything you want. I will say that a lot of the pigments, especially the metallics, look really fantastic on black clay. So the darker the clay, as you can see here, the gold really pops on this purple. Whereas, you know, like something like the blue is a more subtle color, but that gold is outrageous on the dark clay. So think about that when you're planning your design, that some colors do look better on darker clay than on, you know, others. So that, you know, that's pretty much the deal on that. So, okay, so that's how you use powdered pigments. You can also mix them into the colored clay if you want to use translucent and you want to make it still translucent. You can add some powdered pigments in there, and it'll pick up some of the color. You can use it, you know, in any other color clay if you want to add a little something to it. Okay, so baking. After you do your powdered pigments, you can bake it any way you would with regular polymer clay. There is no special baking requirements for pigments, so you just bake it at the suggested temperature on the package of your clay. Now the next thing after baking is sealing it. And people ask this a lot about powdered pigments. Do you need to seal them? Well, the answer is yes and no. If you're going to touch it a lot and you're going to use it a lot, there is a chance that some of the pigments can come off. So you will want to seal it in that case. For instance, if you're wearing jewelry or making jewelry, you'll want to seal it. But if it's something that's going to sit on a counter, you don't need to seal it. It doesn't come off like really super easy. You really have to rub at it to get it off. And even so, you know, it doesn't come off that super easy, like I said. So some of the products that are out there, there's this one called PIM 2, and this goes on after you bake it. We have some other ones we got that work as well, and we're going to be doing a show on that to show you those. I found a really nice one that's matte finish, but PIM is not super shiny, but it's not completely matte either. It's one of those, you know, in between things. So that goes on, like I said, after you bake it. So you have to make your piece, bake it, and then seal it with that. And this is spray, so you don't have to touch it and get gunky or anything like that. And it's really good. It's a really good one. A lot of people in the industry use the PIM. PYM, I should say. Preserve Your Memories is what it stands for. So that's really all you need to know about pigments. A little goes a long way. The palettes are really nice because it makes it much harder to spill these, because, you know, you can knock these over pretty easy, and that's one of the reasons why we came up with the palettes there. They keep all the colors together and they don't spill very easy, which is always nice. Especially me, who my sister calls a bull in a china shop. I'm spilling everything. So that's really nice. And these ones here are the stacker ones, which, like I told you, are really good for storing. You know, these will fit in a drawer really well. So that's about it. If you have any questions, definitely leave them below and we'll answer them for you. But go ahead and try pigments. Powdered pigments, they're really easy to use, and I think you'll really like the effects on polymer clay. So thanks so much for joining me. Come on over and check out polymerclayadventure.com. We're getting ready to start the newest one in January, and you can still join, and you can join all year long, but if you get in at the beginning, we'll be able to get in on all the wonderful discussions that we'll have going on, and all the sharing. So thanks for joining me, and you can find all these products at createalong.com. I'll see you next time.